When we were talking about scripting it, one of the things that we talked about most was, tonal. What's the show that we're making and how should it feel and how do the characters interact and what are we teasing out of it? And I think that the thing to us that we really focused on or, that sat with me was this phrase, casual brutality.
Settle down or you'll walk home.
So it was really important that when we were developing the characters and when we were developing scenes, that it was all very unself-conscious, and so that there was no sense of people judging what they were doing or judging what other people were doing. They were just experiencing it.
Fish fingers.
In episode 3, the whole fish fingers thing has just happened with poor Sue. And then directly out of that, which is such a hard moment from Sue, we cut to the girls walking along, talking about who they're going to marry.
Deacon. Darren.
So you get the feeling that these things are obviously affecting the girls, but it's not like they're laying around the next day just talking about it non-stop.
The girls kind of don't, they're kind of aware bad stuff's happening, but they're not really got a context for that morality or something. Whereas now, of course, kids have a really clear idea of what's right, what's wrong, especially around sex and what's good and what's bad and all that kind of stuff.
He is perfect.
He will be if he has a small dick.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great?
Size for cocktail Frankfurt.
Ideally.
I guess tonally, the way that we shoot Puberty Blues, it feels like you're there. There's an immediacy to it.
Do you really want to?
And that continues through to the edit.
We're not sort of doing the fast wham bam thank you ma'am style that I think a lot of people are used to watching on Australian TV shows these days. So it's it's definitely a much more measured pace.
It's my nighty t-shirt.
So everything that we're doing is not trying to enforce an opinion on what we think people should feel, but it's more about what, you take from it.
How about now?
One of the bigger moments of casual brutality is the car crash at the end of Ep 6. On the page, the way that Fiona Series wrote it, it was always meant to be a car crash that almost didn't happen. We tried to make it so it feels like it comes from nowhere. When the car rolls, the kids get out, and it's almost like they've just gotten off a ride at Luna Park. Like it's not a car crash, it was just a great moment. And I think in directing that scene, it was about getting them to play against it. And it was just letting, I think, the horror of what happens in that scene just unfold slowly.
Oi! Oi! I think he's dead.
Sue's quite far away from the group and watches as all this happens and doesn't know what's going on and slowly realises, and it meant that I could watch the scene unfold.
I felt myself kind of be a bit removed, and trying not to cry is something that's really difficult because it's all built up inside, and then once they've called cut, it's all there, and you haven't had the release during the scene.
Like that shift in mood was just it was the most intense scene I've ever done.
The realisation of what's happening comes through the audio, not so much through what you're seeing. And there's quite a creepy moment where there's just nothing. It's just this, you just hear the crickets.